Hey everybody, welcome to Lighter Days Farm Adventures. I'm Elliot.
And I'm Kat.
And today we're going to be discussing how to winterize your coop. And also we'll go over 7 easy steps to make sure that you have a happy and healthy flock this winter month. Starting with tip number 1.
We're going to talk about how to insulate your coop and why you need to. We have put plastic up, and the reason why you need to do some kind of insulation is to keep your chickens warm and dry throughout the winter months. If they get wet, they'll get diseases, and you don't want that. Chickens will get sick. Your flock will die, and I know I don't want that. I know you guys don't want that. So make sure you insulate your coop. When you put plastic up, there are other methods how you can do it. I've seen people do plywood, and on the open spots, I've seen people put tarps up. I've seen people do plastic bags, anything just to keep them warm. That's all you need to do.
Tip number 2, ventilation. When installing plastic or kind of encapsulating your coop, you want to make sure that you've got airflow through there, because with heat comes moisture, and moisture harbors bacteria and other deadly pathogens that may harm your flock. So we'll show you later on in the video how we did our ventilation. We closed all 4 sides up and left some small gaps on the top. That way you can kind of get a frost breeze in there, so you got some airflow in there. It doesn't get too hot and sweaty in there.
And the airflow helps with eliminating the moisture. So
yeah, it helps dry, keep everything dry. That way they stay warm and dry.
Tip number 3 is make sure your chickens are happy. I've got a mirror in there. I've got a dust bath in there. I put that dust bath in there a couple days ago. The next day, I went out there. I had 5 chickens in there, and it was that big. But 5 chickens were in there having a good old time. You can get a flock block at Tractor Supply or Amazon. They'll peck at it for days. I got one a couple weeks back, and I mean, they pecked at it and it lasted a good while. So it's not like they're gonna peck at it and be gone the next day.
Pretty much just keeping them entertained.
Yeah. Another thing is to get a cabbage and put it on a string. That cabbage will twirl around and they'll be like, peck, peck,
That is my favorite one.
That's about it. Just make sure they're happy and not bored.
Tip number 4, you want to make sure that you collect the eggs a little more frequently than you would in spring and summer months, because obviously when it gets cold, if you've ever put an egg in the refrigerator and had the refrigerator setting too low, you'll wake up the next morning, go to cook you some eggs and bacon, and your eggs are all cracked and spewing all over the place. And sometimes they can create hairline fractures that you may not see, that would allow air and bacteria and harmful pathogens that you don't want to be eating in the morning when you're trying to enjoy some good old eggs and bacon.
Tip number 5 is change your water frequently. I try to change mine every day. Obviously, the cold air will freeze the water, and you don't have like a bucket this deep where it doesn't really freeze. I've got watering things like this, so obviously it's going to freeze faster than a deep amount of water or a large amount of water. So make sure that you check them every day. If it's frozen, your chickens don't have any way to get water, and like us humans, they need water. Tip number 6 is make sure you change your hay out. I've heard people that they do the deep litter method. I'm probably gonna do that, but I'm not sure yet. I just want the hay to be dry and fresh. Make sure you change it. I know chickens poop a lot, like a serious amount, and it really stinks. There are other ways that you can, what's that called, the lime? You can get lime that helps cut out that stinkiness and just spray it out on the ground. But for right now, I'm just changing the hay out like every week and a half or so. Make sure you put a lot of hay in there. You want your chickens to be happy. They can scratch around in the hay. That makes them happy and not bored. That's another reason or way to make them happy.
2 birds with 1 stone on that tip.
But yeah, change them frequently. Deep litter method is you have that thin layer of hay down. They poop on the hay and put another fresh layer of hay on top of that old hay. The old hay on the bottom decomposes, and you get fresh dirt and everything, and that you just keep on doing. It's a cycle.
And with the decomposition of the hay, it creates anaerobic digestion, which also gives off a little bit of heat. Moving on to tip number 7, which is our last and final tip, is in the winter months, obviously they're not going to be able to forage as much as they do in the spring and summer. There's not a whole lot of bugs out that they have access to. So you want to supplement their feed. Going back to what Kat said as well, you can get a flock block or something like that, and also make sure to add grit into their food in the winter months, because they, when they are foraging in the spring and summer months, they scratch up and they eat little bits of dirt and rock that helps their digestive tract. So you might want to think about adding some grit to their food. That concludes our 7 tips, and now we're going to move to the inside of the coop here, and we'll show you how we've done it and just a couple of those tips and methods that we've explained today. Alright guys, now that we're here to the coop, you can see the outside, as Kat was explaining before, we've kind of insulated. We put a double wall of plastic right here to kind of create an air gap, keep everything warm.
Follow us inside, we can show you what we did inside.
Alright, come on in.
As you can see, we have plastic up here, but we left little vents up on the top on every 4 corners of the coop. That's the front side. And if we go over here to the back, you've got all this plastic here. I've done double-sided plastic everywhere because it's not...
You've got an air gap in there, so it's it's going to retain a little more heat. Works a little better to insulate the coop.
And that's how we insulated our coop, and it's working out pretty well. We haven't gone to the negatives.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah. But yeah, as you can see, I've got my dust bath here. I told you it was not that small. I have 5 chickens in there. Not that big. Got my little mirror and my waters. Make sure that all my nesting boxes are full of hay. So if they want, the chickens can sleep in there at nighttime, and that hay keeps them warmer.
And here's the water here. This is the water that Kat was talking about. The container that we have. It doesn't freeze as quickly because it's a bigger container. But these little smaller ones here, that's maybe a ½ inch of water there. That's going to freeze over much faster than something, say, this big would. So just come out and make sure that it's not frozen, and if it is, just bust your ice out of there and dump it out. Just make sure to keep the water cycling. That way they have fresh water. Alright, well, that concludes our video on Latter Days Farm Adventures on how to winterize your coop. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and make sure to like and subscribe. If you want us to make a video, then just leave it in the comments below, and we'll make a video on that particular subject.
Make sure you tell all your fellow chicken friends about what tips that you found from our videos. And we'll see you next time on Latter Days Farm Adventures.